be honest, I'm actually a little bit excited today. I've come down to Clydesdale Turf. Now, Clydesdale Turf is down in Aberdeen in the New South Wales Upper Hunter Valley. So it's about 10 minutes from home. And Dan Clydesdale is the owner here. Now, he has been kind enough to give me some ground to plant out some of my Durban, my sweet smother grass, or some of you might know it as LM grass. Now, this is pretty awesome because as far as I'm aware, there may only be one other grower, maybe not even, who is actually growing this stuff here in New South Wales. So today, we're gonna plant Durban here on this turf farm. And once it's ready, you guys will have the opportunity to purchase some if you want, have a play with it, and just enjoy it like I do. So this area here behind me is the area that we've been given to plant out our Durban grass. Now, off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure how big that is, but it's big enough for now, considering the small supply of stock that I have back home. So, about to get a rotary hoe out. Yesterday, Dan's come through here and ripped it with some rippers. Today, we're gonna finish it off with a rotary hoe. Moving on to harvesting some of the Durban grass, planting it in here, watering it in, taking you guys through the steps, keeping you guys updated, and hopefully before long, this area here will be a nice new patch of Durban grass. Okay, day 2, and today is the morning that I've got to work out a way to harvest this little patch of Durban grass and get it down to the turf farm and then plant it. Now, I've been thinking about what my options are, and I could try raking it up. I don't want to dig it out because that's just going to be a waste of excessive soil, etc. Raking's probably going to lift up runners, but it's probably still means I've got to go and pull them out or chop them off or do something. So I am going to try giving it a scarify. I'll just try a little tiny bit, see what it looks like, see if what it's kicking out gives me viable material to plant. Being a stoloniferous grass, in other words, not having any rhizomes, it's important that what this machine delivers me, or what I guess cut with it, is going to be of use. So all we can do is have a little try, see what we get, and we'll bag it up. And then because it's such a small amount we've got here, I have to plant it by hand, which will be a bit of fun. But anyway, it's probably worth it. So let's crack on. Righto, let's see. In amongst it, there is here material we can use. Yeah, I don't know if it's ideal, but I guess all we can do is see how we go. Certainly thinned it out a lot, but that's not necessarily what I'm chasing. Looking for viable material, and that's, the percentages aren't great. I need to think about this a bit more. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go over it once, pick all this stuff up, put it in a bag, then I'm going to go over it again. I get the feeling when I get down lower, I'm going to get more of the stolons that I'm chasing. I think at the moment, what I'm getting is mostly just the upper leaf canopy, and what I really want to do is get down lower and get those stolons. So I'll go over it now. There is a bit of material in there that I can use, but not as much as I was hoping for. So I'll go over it now, I'll pick it up, then I'll go over it again, and hopefully that'll deliver some better material as it gets a little bit lower and thins out that top growth and canopy. Okay, so that seemed to work a bit better, and we're starting to get more usable material out of this now. So I think that's the key. The other thing I did was, and the reason it stalled out, I kept the revs really low, so it wasn't going flat out. It was actually, I was trying to slow it down as much as I could, and I think that is also a good way, because we're getting lots of good material here now. So that looks to be the way forward. Probably looking at this with hindsight, it would have been good if this was a bit shorter, because I would have got down to this material a bit easier. But those bits there really are what we're chasing. You see there's a bit of root system there. Yeah, so look, this is going to look a bit sore and sorry for itself for a while, but I don't really care, to be honest, because we're going to get a fair bit more out of it. Look, you can see some decent sized pieces there, so that could nearly be broken up again in half at planting. But going forward, I think we're on to a winner. Not ideal, but we'll get away with it. Okay, so you kind of live and learn a little bit. In hindsight, because as I get deeper down, starting to get into more of the material that I'm looking for, I probably should have given this a short mow first, just to get rid of all the green stuff and get down to the stolons. And I didn't sort of think I'd need to, but I'll know for next time. As I said, we're getting down into where I want to be now. All these bits here are very viable, so we'll rake these up. And we've got 2 containers there full and a bag. So we'll fill this up, and I think that'll do to get us going. Let's just see if this works. Hopefully it does. It should do. Got a really good day actually for doing this, because it's not stinking hot. There's a few showers around, so it's not going to dry out as quickly as what it would do if it was yesterday that we're laying it. So fair bit of rain coming next week. In fact, there's a few sprinkles here now. Rake it up, put it in the car. Let's get down to the turf farm, get this in the ground, get some sprinklers on it, and just see what we can create. Okay, here we are, and the boys have done a fantastic job here of getting this ground sorted out. As you can see, ploughed up really well. All these little furrows, or these little trench lines, if you will, are all done with GPS, so they're pretty straight really. So I'm just going to follow them along every metre or so. Going to put a piece. Now, as I think I said earlier, the only reason we're doing it this way is because we've got such a small amount to start with. We need to establish a larger area. Then going forward, we can do it a bit more modern, if you will, by turf cutting, feeding it through a mechanical planter if we choose to go down that road. But for today, getting this bit established, it's all old school. So literally, I'm glad that it's not 100 degrees. I'm glad there's a bit of cloud cover. I've just put the absolute first one in here. So the first little patch is planted. So I'll crack on here now. I'm just going to follow down here every metre apart. Because we're looking for mass coverage rather than fast home lawn style coverage, and this stuff spreads quite quickly once it sort of gets its roots happening, we can and do have the luxury of putting one plant per every square metre. We've got plenty of growing season left, so by the time winter comes around, this should be well on its way to have at least having stolons, touching stolons, still be potentially a little bit bare in places, but it'll certainly cover this area once it settles in quite quickly. So we've got our first lot here. I'll use this packet or this box, crate, whatever you want to call it, first because it's a bit more exposed. Don't want it to dry out too much. First one's in the ground here, heading that way, working across. Let's go. And just like that, we're done. Now, I started laying this myself at about 10 o'clock this morning. Dan had an appointment in town. Dan's come back. Also, Luke's here. We've done this whole area. I'll put on the bottom of the screen how big it is, but it's actually bigger than what let me rephrase that. We got more planted than I thought I'd get out of the plot that we harvested at home, hoping for a good strike rate. Next thing I'm gonna do now, Dan's just gonna go and grab a roller. He's gonna lightly roll over this. We've got the sprinklers here set up. Luke's going to get some more sprinklers just to cover this triangle section here. And then from there, basically water. Probably going to look at putting out a pre-emergent too. We're just having a look to see what we can use that won't be a drama for the grass. So again, I'll chuck that up on the bottom of the screen when we work that one out. And hopefully this grows. But it's been an interesting experience because that's a lot of work when you're doing it old school by hand, and that's what those guys used to do back in the day. But obviously modern techniques now make things much more automated, a lot less labor intensive, and yeah, we certainly will sleep well tonight. $10 o'clock this morning it was.
What time it started?
Yeah.
It's 3.5 hours.
Not a bad effort. That would have been a full day and more without you guys.
Yeah, no, it's nearly 4. Yeah, it's nearly 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Righto guys, well that's it, we're all done. The irrigation's on, the hardest part of the day is behind us. All we need now is for it to grow, which I'm sure it will. Just want to say a massive, huge shout out to Dan and Clydesdale Turf. Clydesdale Turf is a small family owned turf farm, member of the Lawn Solutions Australia group. So if you're after TIFTA, Eureka Cocu or DNA certified Sir Walter and you are in the Hunter Valley, check out Dan. He's looking after me. He's keen for this sort of stuff. So if you're looking for turf, give him a call, man. He's a real friendly guy. He'll see you right. Anyway, guys, we'll wrap the video up here. Have a fantastic weekend. And we'll catch you next time on the Aussie Lawn.